first our top stories. President Adama Barrow holds talks with members of the Public Service Commission. A car accident at Sting Corner leaves several passengers injured. The Gambia Armed Forces Football Club claims the Gambia Football Federation First Division League title. A change in perception, professional women in Nigeria are turning to agribusiness, and they are using modern technology to make it happen. All these and other stories coming ahead in the next hour. I am Fatu Jassi. Thank you for joining us. The President, His Excellency Adama Barrow, continues to receive dignitaries and investors. Momodi Jallo reports on the latest individuals and officials who called on the President.
Of engagements at State House, President Adama Barrow received Senegalese preacher and scholar Imam Tafsir Gueye, who paid a courtesy call on the Gambian leader. The Imam prayed for the President and wished him a successful term in office. The President also received members of the Public Service Commission, who were at the Presidency to update Mr. Barrow on the outcomes of their activities aimed at reforming the civil service and promoting efficiency.
We told him all our concerns, what we are doing in the civil service, what we are trying to achieve. And he was quite happy with it. Yes, these are some of the issues we raised.
Currently, the staff audit exercise is on. We have carried out the field work, and we are analyzing the findings, and after gathering all the relevant information, we'll inform the relevant authorities like the executive for necessary action.
The Minister of Trade, Employment and Regional Integration, Dr. Aissatou Touré, also led officials of the Gambia Milling Company for a meeting with the President. Dr. Touré said the meeting was very productive as it touched on issues relating to ensuring equity in the sale and consumption of flour, which has a direct impact on the price of bread. All this, the Minister concluded, will have a direct impact on the lives of the ordinary people who bear the brunt of the economic challenges. Momodi Jallo, GRTS News.
Earlier in the day, a car accident around Sting Corner left several passengers injured. Police say the vehicle somersaulted due to the driver speeding. Ibrahim Jallo picks up the rest of the story.
The accident occurred in broad daylight due to what police describe as reckless driving.
This accident happened like there's a truck that was coming from Bakau N trying to cross the road. And this vehicle that the driver that has somersaulted here was coming from Banjul N and then heading towards Serekunda. Apparently, because of the speed that he was traveling at the time before the accident, he wanted to avoid the vehicle, and eventually he went into that border lane, and then he lost control.
The vehicle eventually somersaulted as the driver tried to avoid collision.
Let people be very much cautious. If you are on your right, you can easily lose your life. That's number one. If you are approaching a junction, according to the motor traffic regulation, if you get to the motor traffic regulation section 6747, I will again reiterate about this. Whether you are on right, it didn't state that. It said any driver of any motor vehicle approaching a junction, a sharp bend, a crossroad, or a curve should reduce your speed. Because why they say so, any eventuality could happen at any time.
There was no death on the spot, but police say the number of casualties is yet to be established. The victims were quickly rushed to hospital for medical attention. The police who arrived at the scene shortly after the incident have strictly warned against overspeeding, since it is tantamount to violation of the country's traffic code.
Please, Gambians, I'm appealing to the general public. Let us give a helping hand to the police in order to reduce such unnecessary accidents. Because these accidents, you cannot say is God's will, no. You know that you are approaching a junction, reduce your speed. Save people's life and save your life. I think this is high time for Gambians to come out. Give any other driver who drives recklessly on the road, please, the people that we are losing, they are the assets of this country. They are the future leaders of this country. If we happen to kill them just within a twinkle of an eye, what are we trying to tell ourselves as drivers in this country?
Meanwhile, the police has urged the general public, especially drivers, to pay special attention to the traffic rules and avoid overspeeding to save life. Ibrahim Jallo, GRTS News.
The Gambia's largest metropolis, Kanifing municipality, is grappling with waste management problems. Etienne Silva visited Serekunda Market and other areas within the municipality to assess the situation, and this is his report.
It's almost 3 months since the Bakote dump site standoff. A noticeable waste management crisis has hardly hit the densely populated Kanifing municipality. The stalemate at the dump site has a specific bearing on various places in the municipality, but the commercial hub of Serekunda is the hardest hit. The backlog of waste indiscriminately dumped here is proving to be a huge stumbling block for the movement of people from one place to the other.
They spent 1 week here, and the last steps there, people were not able to use that way, and it's not easy because we're in the month of Ramadan, but health, something that is bad is not good for our health.
This staircase, for instance, is one of the areas with an overwhelming presence of waste. The garbage here has both health and economic implications on the business community on site.
It disturbs us a lot because, like, customers cannot climb on top of this rubbish. They have to go down and buy their stuff there and go home.
The apparently concerned businessman and colleagues blame the late collection of garbage for causing the heap of refuse, urging the municipal council to find a way of sanitizing the area. The late collection of waste is also blamed for impeding vendors from conducting business in the area. The meat stalls especially are almost abandoned due to this makeshift dump site described as an eyesore by vendors Ibu Conte and Aminata Mani. The place is now inhabited by people believed to be mentally deranged, and for Conte and his fellow vendors who choose to stay and sell their goods, nose masks are the only things sealing them from the bad odor. To find out more, we approached the market manager, Dudu Gomez, but he would not comment on the subject matter due to what he called an institutional policy. He then directed us to the municipality's chief executive, who shifted the blame to the Bakote dump site saga.
They've laid siege upon that place, and we no longer have access to the dump site, despite it is the only official dump site for this municipality. And now we have resorted to negotiating with our partners in Banjul, and now it is the Banjul Mile 2 dump site that we are using to dump waste from our municipality. Right? So this has cost us some constraints. The turnaround time for vehicles to collect waste from any part of Serekunda to the Bakote dump site is much closer in terms of proximity, as opposed to going way down to Banjul. And also it has caused some wear and tear to our vehicles.
Elsewhere in Kotu and the riverine sites of Ibo Town and Joswang, the high presence of waste is also posing a threat to both aquatic species and people nearby. The KMC CEO said the heap is mainly used by private garbage collectors as an alternative to the much talked about Bakote dump sites.
The Kanifing municipality, over a period, apparently have become dirtier. You find out that indiscriminate dumps are sprawling all over the place, right? And it is just a matter of time before we see this escalate probably into full-blown waste crisis.
The 3 places are disaster hotspots during the rainy season, and if what Bakalifa cited is anything to go by, all stakeholders should act immediately to solve the Bakote dump site crisis to prevent potentially waterborne diseases during summer.
Because the Igbo towns, the Talinese are areas that were very much affected by the last the cholera outbreak and flooding some years ago. So we are wary. I'm sure even the health personnel will be very, very much concerned about this, because waterborne diseases, come as a result of such situations. And if this situation is allowed to continue as it is, the stakes could be high come the race.
Sanyang, who gave an update on the dump site saga, admitted that time is of the essence. Waste in the Kanifing municipality must be properly managed to avert unintended health and environment consequences, he concluded. Etienne Silva, GRTS News.
Disaster victims in the North Bank region have received farm produce from Social Security and Housing Finance Corporation. The gesture is part of the institution's operation Promote Investment in Education, Agriculture and Health project. Khadija Tujali reports.
partnership between Social Security and Housing Finance Corporation and the people of North Bank region under the OPIA project dates back to 2011.
OPIA is Operation Promote Investment in Education, Health and Agriculture, initiated by the Social Security. So in the produce we distribute annually to the disaster victims within that region, to the National Disaster Coordination.
SEMA says the objective of the project is to encourage investment amongst the villagers and to help them support each other in times of disasters.
Because come last year we distributed 50 bags, 2.5 tons. This year we are distributing almost 3 tons. Every year we increase our fertilizer supply, and then last year some communities at Kedamakhole, they requested for farming tools also, which we are provided by this OPIA project through management, through resource management. Yeah, so we are progressing annually anyway.
The Deputy Governor, North Bank Region, Mustafa Seidi, and an official of the National Disaster Management Agency in the region, Modu Sise, commended Social Security Enhances Finance Corporation for complementing government's efforts while urging beneficiary villages to make best use of the OPIA project.
Investing resources and plowing the proceeds back to the people is a good move. I urge those involved in this farming project to do more.
The president of the Farmers Association, North Bank Region, Sambo Damfa, and several other speakers hailed Social Security and Housing Finance for a move they believe will help address food security and improve livelihoods. The participating villages assured Social Security and Finance Corporation officials of their continuous commitment to the OPIA project in promoting productivity. Khadijatu Jallow, GRTS News.
Civil servants in the Janjanbureh administrative area are the latest to join in a string of commemorations marking Workers' Day. Motulamin Sane attended celebrations in the region and now tells us more.
Workers in the Central River region also joined the rest of the country to celebrate International Workers' Day. The regional commemoration of the day started with a traditional march past that availed workers an opportunity to showcase their solidarity before they converge at a gathering to deliver statements.
If we have traditional ways of working, but they are not efficient, we can't afford to sustain that over other more effective optional outcomes. So therefore, I will do my best to gather all the information that I need to be able to adjust the processes and reforms so that I'll be able to do my job in a more productive and efficient way.
The day is set aside for workers to reflect and discuss issues affecting them, as well as chart a way forward for better working conditions.
We will be looking at work from a very different perspective. We will be deploying more efficient ways of working so that we will maximize our output and certainly be able to meet our objectives.
The day also provides a platform for workers to interact and foster unity amongst themselves. As they celebrate Labor Day, these workers will hope for improved working conditions with better pay. For GRTS News, this is Modlawin Sane.
The Gambia College recently held a symposium centered on democracy and the rule of law. The event avails students the opportunity to be better prepared to partake in the country's political scope. Modiwangam reports.
Main hall. The gathering was graced by over 200 students from the Gambia College, including lecturers and media personnel. The talks mainly focused on upholding democracy and the rule of law, liberation, gender in politics, along with several related topics of discussion. Several speakers gave their different personal definitions of democracy and freedom of speech, while unanimously attesting to the fact that everything is done according to the rule of law in democracy. Students participated in the symposium by reciting poems about the Smiling Coast. One of the female students even performed a short song with encouraging lyrics about the Gambia. Guest speaker Honorable Halifa Saleh stated that one cannot talk about democracy without referring to two elements, which are the state and the people, while adding that democracy creates equality among citizens.
Sovereignty resides in the people. Sovereignty resides in the people. And that sovereignty is exercised by the people, so much so that no authority can govern the country unless it derives its powers from the concept of the people.
He also added that democracy means that power belongs to the people, while urging the youths to become agents of change for development in the interest of the Gambia.
And as you grow to enable to know that you own the country, and those who are entrusted with the power of the people are merely public trustees, and they are supposed to manage your wealth in order to provide the schools, the hospitals, the roads, the electricity, water supply, all those things that make your life a better life, that enable you to live in prosperity.
The Gambia College Students Union Annual Symposium 2017 was deemed engaging and beneficial by students, participants, and speakers alike.
And the problem is, even though he keeps preaching this thing to us, we are only inspired when he's there. The moment he leaves, the inspiration goes away. So he will keep talking, change will not come. The only time that the change will come is when we realize that, you know what, someday he will not be here and someone needs to step up and be like him or more than him. And that is when we need to start building ourselves to become him or more than him too.
Following his speech, another one of the students recited an emotional and yet quite powerful poem centered on the injustices of the world today.
That all we need is generous leaders so upright. So sleep no more. For the pillows we used to lay on is no more. It's now an iron ice with icy lining that force our voices in our silent weapon, denying us the opportunity to think in broad brains, locked in the caskets of dimness, unable to think or breath. But since we have climbed this far in crest and trough, so rough and tough, we must sleep no more.
Mudi Wongom, reporting for GRTS News. Gambia College Main Hall. The gathering was great.
We take our first break now. Sports is up next.
Assalamualaikum Gambia, sen dom la bay babu borom damay fahas malaw ya ma gën xam ceeb bu sew di leen wax ne Africell data bundle gaaw na sella wóor te yomba maa ngi connecté wu Snapchat, Viber, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp.
Stay connected to your friends and loved ones all around the world with the most reliable data service. With Africell super fast data, you will get to enjoy more than just video streaming, downloading pictures and movies, Snapchatting, Instagramming, emailing, WhatsApping, IMO, and so much more.
It simply means you can multitask with the fastest and the most efficient data service.
You want to feel speed? Well, try Africell data. Where Africell goes, nobody dares to follow.
In sports, the Gambia Armed Forces are the champions of the Gambian football after winning the Gambia Football Federation First Division League title. The Khaki Boys were presented the trophy on the final day of the league season at Bricamax Box Bar Mini Stadium. MS Jallo has been following the football league season and he now tells us more.
After nearly 8 months of football, featuring 12 teams and 132 games, the 2016-2017 GFF First Division League season came to an end with the coronation of the Gambia Armed Forces as champions. The Khaki Boys dominated for majority of the season to win their third league title, ending a 7-year trophy drought with their last triumph way back in 2009. The champions, who had already won the title with 2 games to go, wrapped up their impressive campaign with a 1-1 draw away to Brikama United on the final day of the league season at the Box Bar Mini Stadium. The champions receive a befitting welcome from the host before the two sides played an entertaining 1-1 draw. Armed Forces, despite having already secured the title, were bent on ending their season on a high note. Whilst for Brikama United, it was the last game for their popular coach, Suleiman Kwede, who has decided to bring down the curtains on his 6-year spell with the West Coast Giants. And his charges, one could give him the perfect send-off. Zelu Sambu fired Brikama United in front from the penalty spot to give the Satiwa boys a half-time lead. The second period was full of drama with chances created at both ends. Desperate to equalize, the Armed Forces coach lost his cool in the process and was sent to the stands after a touchline outburst with referee Mauro Jallo. Minutes from being sent off, his players responded immediately to level the tie. The substitute Rasidu Ba's thunderous shot restored parity, and he ran straight to celebrate with his coach, who is on the other side of the perimeter fence. The game finished 1-1, and came the moment for the icing on the cake for the victorious Armed Forces team. The ceremony for the medal and trophy presentation to the winners was attended by GFF officials, the Minister of Youth and Sports, legendary Biri Biri, and the Gambia Armed Forces High Command. Afterwards, the Kaki boys celebrated their triumph with their fans, friends, and family members. A dream come true for this group of players who will go down in the history books of Gambian football.
I joined the team almost 3 years ago. This is my first time winning the league, so I'm very happy.
Honestly, I feel excited. I just give thanks to Almighty God who makes it possible for me to be a champion. This is my first season in Gambia. I'm very, very happy to be a title winner in Gambia.
Adam Jame and Mata Sisi are among the outstanding young players of this season. And winning the title comes with a special feeling for the youngsters.
It's a great feeling, winning the trophy, being a young player. These are my third season playing the league, and I would say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Right now, we take the cup, I think right now I cannot express what I'm feeling right now. That's it.
The champions in 2003, 2009, and now 2017. Armed Forces are deserved champions after a terrific run of form under coach Ibrahim Ajara, with a record 49 points from a possible 66, winning 14 games, drawing 7, and losing just once. For loyal fans like Malan Jata, who has not missed a single Armed Forces game this season, winning the league title is worth rejoicing. The champions will receive a cash prize of $300,000.
The Armed Forces are now celebrating. They are the 2016-2017 GFF League champions. They are definitely deserved winners of the GFF First Division. They will party early for the night, and I know this party is going to continue for a long period of time. But Armed Forces are definitely deserved champions of the GFF First Division League season. Mohamed S. Jallo, GRT Sports, at the Box Family Stadium.
We'll be back with news from outside the Gambia right after this break. Stay tuned.
Hey, Lynn. Hey, you look tense. What's up?
I can't help it. The internet is way too slow.
Hey, why not join the future?
How?
Why not try this?
Wow, that was really fast. Thank you.
No, thank you, sir.
For the first time in the Gambia, QCell subscribers can now enjoy 4G LTE on their 4G edible mobile phone.
At Kaiba Avenue,
Senegambia,
Brufut,
Banjo,
Bakau,
and Sukuta.
This means that you can now connect faster than ever before with 4G LTE speed. QCell has a wide selection of 4G LTE mobiles, dongles, and Wi-Fi routers.
Give
Bypass.
For more information, call 111.
QCell, Symposium, Sunyopot. We innovate. Orders follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. Egypt has continued its airstrikes on the militant-controlled city of Derna in eastern Libya. Witnesses say at least 3 attacks took place on Monday. The Egyptian foreign minister maintains that militant training camps in neighboring Libya are a direct threat to Egypt's national security. We have details in this news report.
The aftermath of Egyptian airstrikes in eastern Libya. Egypt says its warplanes are targeting militant training camps. The country maintains the gunmen behind Friday's attack on Coptic Christians came from the Derna area. Egypt has vowed to continue the airstrikes, saying the militants are a threat to national security.
The tragic events in Libya last week are evidence of the ability of these terror organizations and their persistent efforts to destabilize Egypt. This forces Egypt to defend itself in line with international laws and treaties. Egypt targeted the bases of these organizations to destroy them, thus limiting their ability to threaten national security.
Islamist groups have gained ground in Libya following the overthrow of Muammar Gaddafi. Derna in particular has a long history of militancy. And this isn't the first time Egypt has carried out airstrikes in Libya. During a media briefing with his Russian counterpart on Monday, Egyptian Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry appealed for international support in fighting terrorism. Susan Mongeli, CGTN.
For decades, farming in Nigeria has been considered a vocation for rural communities that attracted small profits. But this perception is changing. More urban-based professional women are taking up farming as a business, using modern technology to make it more profitable. We have more in this CGTN news report.
Seeking ways to make their farms more efficient. For women like Kofo, the solution is smart agriculture.
I think the way we farm is different now. It's just not about manual labor. There are different technologies to make the process easier. For example, we're using greenhouse technology here. So basically, you're able to protect your crops, manage the elements. You know, we're watering our plants through drip irrigation, so nobody's actually taking a hose to water everything.
To encourage other young farmers, the entrepreneur writes a blog about farming where people can discuss ways of improving production.
We're bringing a new energy to the game. You know, we're trying to collaborate. It's not about them and us. It's about how do we work together. Because the space is huge. It's big enough for all of us. We're not just trying to feed Nigeria. We're trying to feed Africa.
At Lekki Farm, Oladuni breeds various livestock. She started the business 3 years ago after quitting her job as a civil servant.
When I started, a lot of my friends thought I was crazy. They actually told me, look at you, you're growing dark. You're always in the sun. But it was something I enjoyed doing. I enjoyed feeding, you know, the animals. I enjoyed feeding grass to those animals. I enjoyed looking at them if they were okay.
Nigeria is trying to diversify its economy away from a reliance on oil. The country has slipped into its first recession in 25 years, brought on by low crude prices.
I think more food for everybody, more food for the masses. I mean, if there is food, nobody cares what happens with the economy. Everybody will be happy, and there will be less crime in the society, and there will be peace.
Experts say agriculture has the potential to reduce African poverty up to 4 times faster than other sectors. Nearly 2/3 of the population on the continent are involved in agriculture, with women producing most of the food. Vic Jege, CGTN.
We now take a look at weather report courtesy of the Central Forecast Office.
Hello, good evening, and you're watching the latest weather report from the Central Forecast Office. First, we start with the summary of the day's weather. It was warm and sunny throughout the day. To the satellite image, which says current weather conditions in Africa, shows convective clouds over Gulf of Guinea, central and eastern part of Africa. causing lightning, thunderstorm, and rainy activities over those affected areas. Tonight, mild and partly cloudy conditions are expected over the western sector, whereas the inland will be mostly cloudy and warm. Tomorrow, the weather is expected to be variably cloudy, becoming warm thereafter throughout the country. Surface wind flow will be westerly in direction, with speed ranging from 5 to 30 kilometers per hour. Minimum temperatures expected across the country will be 24 degrees Celsius over Greater Banjul and West Coast, 22 over North Bank, 23 over Lower River Region, 25 over Central River Region, and 28 over Upper River Region. Maximum temperatures expected will be 35 degrees Celsius over Greater Banjul and West Coast, 36 over North Bank, 38 over Lower River Region, 39 over Central River Region, and 41 over Upper River Region. For those going to sea, low tide will be 0.3 meters at 8 a.m. and 0.6 meters at 9 p.m. High tide will be 1.3 meters at 2 a.m. and 1.6 meters at 2 p.m. Waves will be 1 to 2 meters northwesterly swells. The sun will rise at 6:34 and will set at 19:30. That's all for the forecast. Thanks for watching and Ramadan Mubarak.
And that brings us to the end of the news, but before we take leave of you, a recap of the day's main stories. President Adama Barrow has held talks with members of the Public Service Commission. A car accident at Sting Corner has left several passengers injured. The Gambia Armed Forces Football Club has claimed the Football Federation First Division League title. A change in perception: professional women in Nigeria are turning to agribusiness and they are using modern technology to make it happen. Well, that was all in this edition of the news. Thanks for the pleasure of your company and do stay with GRTS.
سبحان